Hello, everyone. Welcome to CS121. I hope you enjoyed the 3MT session just now and gain beneficial sharing from our fellow postgraduates and friends. So, to heal us today, it is a pleasure to have a special keynote guest. Today, Miss Patience Chen. Miss Patience Chen holds a license and also a registered counselor who have 8 years of experience as a facilitator and trainer, speaking to thousands of individuals in various schools, campuses, and organizations across the country, both as a staff and volunteer in the non-profit sector. With the title of the talk, Feel It to Heal It, I will pass the session to Miss Patience Chen. The floor is yours,
Thank you
Miss
so
Patience.
much. Thank you so much for that warm introduction. I'm so pleased to be here with all of you today. I want to extend a very special thank you to Dr. Shahira. Thank you so much for inviting me and trusting me with such an important topic. Let me share my screen, if it's okay. I just want to check, are you guys here? You're here. If you're here, would you mind to, raise your hand, use the reaction, give a like or something so I know that you are present here today. All right. I see Najiha is here. Asma is here. Nor Isnisa. All right. Great. Thank you. Thank you. I must say, when I was preparing for this presentation, at first I was like, oh my goodness, what am I going to talk about for 1 hour? And then as I was preparing it, I was like, oh my goodness, how am I going to keep it within 1 hour? So I must say a huge congratulations to those of you who are trying to fit your thesis into 3 minutes. Good job, guys. Wow, what an achievement. Okay, let me go ahead and share my screen. Okay. Okay, you guys can see this? Yes? Okay, wait, hold on. I want to move you over to this side so that I can see all your lovely faces, or rather your lovely names. If you are able, please do share your video because it will really help me to see how you are feeling and your response towards the session. And please make use of the chat and the reactions, okay, so that I know how to attend to you, okay, and facilitators and moderators, if you notice a question in the chat box that I have not attended to, please feel free to unmute yourself and ask a question. Is that okay? Kenya? All right, awesome. Okay, so let me do a very, very quick introduction about myself. My name is Patience. I actually used to be a USM student. Okay, so I did my master's in counseling actually with PPIP, okay, the School of Education. And I had a really wonderful experience in USM. Really, I'm not even kidding. It's not just because I'm invited back, but seriously, I had such a wonderful experience, and the lecturers were also kind and very experienced. And how I actually got started on the journey towards becoming a counselor is because I used to be a client. Okay, I went through my own journey in counseling, and I had worked as the MC, the host today has mentioned. I used to work in the non-profit sector, okay, for quite a number of years, almost 10 years of my career. And I had enjoyed it, okay, but a lot of the work that I had done, I was doing workshops, going around the country to different schools and organizations to do workshops with young people. But the problem with those workshops was that I would go once and then I would not see the student or the client ever again. Okay, very unlikely that I would encounter them. And as I was doing, in the midst of this, I was also going through my counseling journey, right, as a client. And I realized that real transformation is possible on a very, very deep level. Healing can occur, but it takes time. And so I started to see that there was a need for me to take a different path. Okay, there's nothing wrong with doing workshops and programs that help to create awareness. Those are really, really important. But I noticed for me, it started to become important for me that I wanted to help people to develop. I wanted to journey alongside them to help them to see their growth and transformation. Okay, so that was kind of my journey. And so I quit my job and I went and studied full-time for 2 years in USM. And it was a wonderful experience. So here I am today. All right, so now my full-time job is I work in a training and learning solutions company called Thriving Talents. Okay, and my boss is very, very supportive. And I think with the pandemic, the need for mental health awareness, for mental health skills and tools has increased. Okay, or rather, the awareness of the need has come to the surface. I believe that there were probably many issues that people were facing before, but they managed to repress it, suppress it, ignore it, deny it. Okay, but now we are here, in a pandemic situation where many are going through crisis, where many are having to grieve over many losses, okay, that have occurred over the last 18 months at least. Yeah. So we're here to learn a little bit, okay, about what the grieving process is like. Okay, so let me just look at some of my objectives. Okay, so number one is to understand the grieving process. Okay, grieving is a journey, it's not a destination. Okay, and then helping to create self-awareness. How do you know what you feel? How do you know if you are grieving or you're part of the you are in the grieving process? Okay. What are some tips for self-care, okay, that I can give to you that have worked for my clients and also for myself? And how to help others in their grief, okay? Because now we are in a very unique situation, okay, where there is mass grief, as we call it, because so many people are undergoing losses at the same time because we are going through the same experience, okay? All right. Again, I want to emphasize, if you have any questions, comments, please put them in the chat box. I will try my best to pay attention to it. Yeah. Okay. If you would please go to this Slido, you can use your mobile phone, okay, to scan the QR code. You don't need to download an app. It will open up in a new browser, okay, and help me to answer the first question, okay. So let me just activate that poll, okay. All right, so the question is, what are some losses that you have experienced in the last 18 months? What are some losses that you have experienced in the last 18 months? Okay, they may be a relationship, it may be the death of a loved one, it may be something to do with money, okay, finances, maybe there's a huge change, a loss of freedom, okay, loss of fun, all right, whatever that is for you, okay, please do share. How many participants do we have here today?
As of now, we have 103 participants are joining.
Wow, there's 103 participants. So I hope to see at least 50%, okay, of responses on my Slido so that we get a good feel of the room, yeah, of what are the losses that we are encountering here today, okay? Wow, so many have lost a friend. Yeah, that must be so painful and difficult. Death of loved ones, wow, difficult to reach your family. Yeah, one of my clients was talking about both her grandparents and her parents getting COVID, but she is far away from both. Yeah, so grandparents in one state, parents in another state. She's working in KL, so this is very difficult. Yeah, difficult because you lack the support, lack the connection, okay, with one another, your usual support system. Okay. Yeah, the loss of gathering, and those of us who are more extroverted, we feel this loss much greater, okay, than those who are introverted, who like their alone time, okay. But even then, those who are introverted, it doesn't mean that they want to be isolated. They just need a bit more space sometimes, a little less stimulation. Oh, wow, that's a great one. Difficulty, loss of lab access. I like that one. Thank you for sharing so honestly. I'm sure that has halted some of your work as well. Yeah, so maybe it's a loss of your goals, your achievement as well. Okay, yeah, the loss of travel, loss of motivation, all right, passion, missing your family, difficulty to find ability to research or finding the motivation to continue to push forward with your research. Yeah. Yeah, having many relatives, not just having a relative, but if you had lost many, that's really a great loss. One of my friends, in her church community, she started to lose quite a number, you know, and so she was saying almost on a weekly basis there would be some loss somewhere that she had heard about, yeah, losing a loved one. Okay, yeah, yeah, maybe a loss of promotion at work. Okay, all right, yeah, loss of businesses. All right, the economy is difficult on everyone right now. Maybe some of you, you know, you have part-time jobs that you had hoped to continue to support you as you continue your studies here. Okay, so those are also difficult, and with the lack of income also comes other secondary losses. Yeah. Okay. Yes, it's a bit different now. Whether you like it, you don't like it, now you have to study online, which may not have been what you signed up for, right? When you first registered for study, you want to be able to interact with like-minded peers, to meet your lecturers in person, to do experiments. But now things have changed. Okay, so that's a loss of a dream as well, an expectation, a wish. Loss of gym. Okay, wow, lots of data that has been lost. Who knows whether that's pictures or some sensitive information in there, things that are very private and personal to you. Okay, great. We are at 44. Thank you so much. I think that is enough. We have quite a lot of sharing over there. Maybe if you like, you can take a picture, okay, or a screenshot of this, okay, because I think it may come in handy later as we continue to discuss. Yeah. Okay, let me also do that in the meantime. Thank you all. Okay, so let me end this poll right now and come back to my slide. Okay, so I would like this session to not be so much based on theory, yeah, because you are all postgraduate students, okay, and I believe that you can do much greater research than I can. All right. So what I would like to focus on here is actually my personal experience and how I think we can use this session to feel it to heal it, basically. Okay, what are some practical things that we can do in order to move forward in the grieving process? Okay, is that okay? Guys, if this is okay, could you give a thumbs up? If there's any violent objections, you can go to the chat box and say, I object, okay? All right. So what is grief? Yeah, grief is a process, all right? It's a process, like I said, it's not a singular event. It's something that takes time to go through. Those of you who are doing research, you know that that is also a process. There is an end destination that you hope to get through with. You know, you hope to have the output, all right? But for most of you, if you're doing postgraduate research, you're doing your PhDs, this is quite a long and lengthy process. It's a marathon, okay, not a sprint for you. So, and we need to understand that everybody grieves differently, okay? If your grief looks different from your family member, let's say you are married, okay, and the way you are grieving is different from your husband or your wife, I want you to know that there is nothing wrong with you, okay? It's perfectly okay to grieve differently. It's all right. Everybody has their own style, their own process, and different things that they are prioritizing, okay, in the moment, different ways of coping. This has a lot to do with our background, our upbringing, the messages that we grew up, okay, understanding about loss and about how to express our emotions, okay? There's nothing wrong with whichever method you choose, okay? Grief indicates that there has been a loss, okay? And with any kind of change, okay, there is a loss. With any kind of loss, there is a change that is required, okay? Something has shifted and we need to understand or be able to identify what is it, okay? And what is the attention, the nurturing that is required of me now, okay? Sorry, my slide. Okay. So very quickly, I just want to bring forward one of the models. It's just one, okay? There are many different models of grief, but I have found that this is the one that I seem to keep coming back to, okay? Which is Kubler-Ross's 5 stages of grief. And in fact, now she has increased, okay, to actually there are 7 stages, all right? But in a pinch, I tend to notice that these are the 5 stages, okay? So there will be denial, bargaining, anger, depression, and acceptance. All right. Let me show you the new and improved version. Okay, so the first is when there is a loss. Okay, there's usually it comes as a shock. Okay, it is an event that happens. Okay, and so there is that moment of surprise. Okay, something has quickly shifted and changed. Okay, without your most likely without your permission. Okay. Oh, sorry. Hold on, yeah. Okay, great. And then the next might come denial, okay, especially if there's a death involved, okay, or loss of your business or your income. There was a fire somewhere, set the building, burned it down. There is a disbelief. No, what you say can't be true. I just spoke to him 2 days ago. This can't be true. This can't be real. Okay, so there is a denial of the reality of the situation. And we're trying to find out information. Where did it happen? What happened? Who was there? Okay, so we are looking for evidence to support, this impossibility. And we're frustrated. Okay, there may be frustration that things are different now. How dare you leave me behind to deal with this? How could you? Right? So there is this frustration. Or now the reality begins to set in a little bit, that, oh, my life is going to be so difficult now. I have a single income, all right, or some other change, all right, that has come into your life. And there may be sadness. And usually anger is a cover. It masks sadness within us, all right. So when we realize, oh, it's true that this thing has happened. It is true. I have to live with the separation that COVID, okay, has imposed on my life. Then I may lose my drive. Okay, I'm not as excited as before. And then we might need to, okay, try out something different. I want to share a little bit of my experience here. So when the pandemic first hit and we went on lockdown, this was in March of 2020. I was actually in the process of doing my final semester. So in the School of Counseling, for us, we need to collect hours, okay, for counseling. We need to report those findings, okay, and submit our case notes and so on, but we actually have to run sessions. And then I was also writing my thesis at the time. And when the pandemic first hit, I was still quite motivated. I told myself, it's okay. I will just change my physical sessions to online sessions. But then we heard news, okay, from Lembaga Counsel Malaysia, okay, the National Board of Counsellors, that said online sessions will not be accepted. You must do physical sessions in order for it to be considered as, part of your collection of hours. And once that happened, I actually went into a bit of shutdown. Okay, I couldn't get out of bed, or rather, I was spending many hours in bed. All right, 18 to 20 hours a day. Okay, for about 2 weeks. But because I had this understanding of the psychology, right, of it, I was like, okay, look, your animal brain is telling you that this is a crisis moment, that you are under attack. There is something dangerous out there that is threatening your safety. So we need to stay safe right now. We can't fight. And we can't run, okay, because we can't escape anywhere, we can't travel. So my body went into a freeze mode. All right. So I needed to send some feedback to my brain that, hey, it's okay, I'm safe. All right. So I told myself, okay, let's do 5 to 7 minutes of exercise every day. Okay. I made the requirement very, very small, but I told myself that I need to do it every day. So sometimes even like 11:30 at night, I'm like, okay, all right, it's almost midnight. We have to do it now, okay? We just have to have the bare minimum consistency. And true enough, through this method, okay, I started to see changes, okay? I started to get my drive back, my motivation, okay? I started to get back into a routine, okay? Eat at the same time every day, take a shower, talk to somebody, work on something, okay? I wasn't even aiming to finish a chapter. I was just aiming, let's write one paragraph, okay? And that just became a small achievable goal for me along the way. So you can see that when there is the depression, then in this season, you may need to find different ways and experiment with what works for you, okay? In order to go through the grieving process. And then you make some decisions, okay? Because now you have some new norms, okay? New routines, new changes in your life. So you need to make decisions and figuring out what will work for you. So one of these stories that I heard, okay, that I read about in a book, this young husband had lost his wife. And so his brothers and brother-in-law, you know, were talking to him and asking him what they can do. And he said, I need to change my bed. Okay. Like from a double bed, now I need to have a single bed. Otherwise, I'm never going to be able to move out of this. Okay. So that's sometimes a decision that we need to make, okay, in the grieving process. All right. And integration. So changes, okay, that you are going through become the new norm, okay, the new routine for you becomes a part of yourself. Okay. Are we good here? Yes. Sorry, I'm also trying to figure out where is the chat box. I can't seem to find it. I'm so sorry. I'm sure all you computer scientists must be laughing at me. This girl who doesn't know where her chat box is. Okay, I can't find it right now, but it's okay. I will figure it out along the way. Okay, never mind. All right. So
Patient, just in case,
It's
it
actually on
is,
top.
yeah, it is on the lower right.
lower right,
Can you see the one that says participants and chat?
participants and share.
But I know when you're giving your talk and you're sharing, it's
Yeah,
not
it
easy
looks
to look.
different.
Yeah.
It looks different.
Yes,
Okay,
it looks
so
different,
never
yeah.
mind. Maybe I will need you guys to
Yeah,
bring my
we will
attention
be,
to the chat
yes.
if there's anything. Okay, guys?
Yes, sure,
All right.
sure.
Thank you so much. All right, cool. So, what is the psychological experience for grief? Okay, so psychological, we will term it as the combination of emotions, your feelings, your cognitions, what you think, your thoughts, and your behaviors. What are you doing? Your actions. Okay, and it would be nice to think that we will go through the grieving process like this, okay, or like in Kubler-Ross is a one step by step along the diagram, but actually in reality it looks more like this, right? There's no, it's not a linear process. When you're going through the anger and denial stage, when you're going through the depression or maybe even acceptance stage, sometimes you can come back to anger, denial, and bargaining. You may, all right? That is completely normal, all right? And maybe even many of these things are happening at the same time, okay? Because you are not just one thing, okay? You are a multifaceted being, okay? So it's not as if you can separate your emotions from your mind or your body. Okay, I just do this to my body, okay, but my brain is somewhere else, okay? No, they are interconnected, okay? And so your relationships, your work, your life, this is all part of you, okay? So if you sometimes feel confused, okay, and frustrated, and then at the same time you're able to find joy in the next moment, I want to really assure you again, there's nothing wrong with you, okay? It's perfectly normal. It is okay, all right, to have those experiences. So what are some of the reasons we find it difficult to grieve? Okay, why is it sometimes we will repress or suppress what we are feeling? Repression refers to our subconscious, keeping things in our subconscious, okay, keeping things down. Suppression is, it comes to my awareness, but I push it away. I intentionally block out that information and ignore it, okay, in the moment. So what are some reasons that people have for doing that? Number one is maybe they lack knowledge, okay, about the grieving process. They're not aware, okay, this is normal, okay, I'm going to feel a roller coaster of emotions and it's okay, all right? Maybe they don't even understand that. They think that if I allow myself to feel this, I'm going to stay stuck there. Okay, but that is rarely the case. All right. It's common, okay, in society that we want to rush through our grief. I need to move on. I can't stay stuck here, right? I believe that this would be a common phrase and belief that many of us have, that it's wrong or not good to feel sad. It's not helpful or useful to feel angry, to feel sad, right? Maybe they lack emotional and social support. Okay, maybe they feel they have no choice, okay, to stay with the feelings. It's possible as well that there's a increased pressure at work, right? So we don't give ourselves the time and the space that we need to give our emotions room to breathe. Yeah, we just think, I need to function, I need to continue to provide for my family, right? Maybe they are fearful of losing control, right? Like I said, if I allow myself to feel sad, I'm going to stay stuck there forever. I'm not going to be able to come out. So I need to avoid these feelings altogether, right? Sometimes and oftentimes, I don't know about you, I think it's very common for people to say, you need to be strong for your mother. You need to be strong for your children. You need to keep on persevering. They wouldn't want you to be sad. And my question is, says who? Who told you that? Right? So I will talk a little bit more about this, okay? But these are some of the common reasons, okay, that people have for trying to repress or suppress, okay, their grief. Some of the losses that you may experience, okay, which some of you have mentioned earlier, okay, developmental losses. That means with the normal developmental process, there will be changes, okay, that happen, and so that change comes with some kind of loss, okay, and grief as well. For those of you who are mothers, okay, I'm sure you've had this experience, which I've heard from other young mother friends of mine, okay, that they feel sad. In a way, after their baby is born, they're like, I wish to be pregnant. I wish that my baby was always with me. Okay, so that is the developmental loss. Sometimes, it's a big deal, right? When your child goes off to school for the first time. Oh my God, don't leave. There's a little bit of separation anxiety going on there. Okay, what was no longer is, or maybe even when you're changing from breastfeeding to weaning out your child off to solids, okay, that could also be a loss as well. Tangible losses, okay, so losses that you can see, you can feel, you can touch, okay, something in your reality is different already. So usually something related to something that is physical, okay, so the physical loss of a person, all right, their death, loss of a job, loss of property, of business, savings that you had, all right, those are tangible losses that may occur. Intangible losses, okay, are those that affect us emotionally and socially in our relationships, okay? Could be a separation or divorce. It could be loss of memory, right? It could be intrapsychic losses, discovering infidelity. So the trust that we had is lost, all right? It could be the loss of a role, losing custody of your child, or even through the death of somebody. So I'm no longer a mother, all right, for instance. Secondary losses, okay, are losses that are kind of follow-up losses. So with the death of a spouse, maybe there's a loss of income, there's a loss of status, loss of access to certain communities and support maybe, okay. And I wanted to highlight, okay, another kind of loss or grief rather, which is a disenfranchised grief. This is a hidden grief. These are losses that oftentimes in society, we don't see them as, oh, this is a real loss, okay? Because maybe morally, ethically, we feel that this is not right. We cannot acknowledge this relationship, or we trivialize it. So for example, okay, divorce may be frowned upon, or having extramarital affairs, But when those relationships change as well, there is a loss to the person involved, the person or persons involved. Okay, and so it's very difficult, for them to voice out and talk about that because they perceive or assume that other people will not be able to understand what I'm going through. They don't see this as a valid loss. Okay, maybe it's the loss of a pet. Okay, those who don't own pets or have never owned pets sometimes may not be able to understand. Okay, but actually, if you have had pets when you were growing up, or if your child has had a pet, you would know that actually, I heard this from another grief expert, that actually the loss of a pet is one of the first losses a child will have to grieve for. Usually, yeah. Having a miscarriage, okay, is often not talked about as well, or even an abortion. Okay, these might be disenfranchised griefs. Okay, griefs that are even more difficult. Okay, for people to talk about. Okay, because it's not accepted in society. It's not viewed, okay, as acceptable. All right. Okay, so let's go to my second poll. All right, and let me switch screens or windows rather. Okay. So earlier you had mentioned all the things that you guys were grieving over. I'd like you now to share, what do you wish people knew about your grief? What are things that people assume or they have said that hurts? What do you wish they understood about you, your feelings, okay, and the loss that you have gone through? Okay, so please log on to slido.com. You can use the code, okay, USM_CS, or you can scan the QR code with your handphone, right? And let's see some of your answers. I don't want anyone to know. I want to keep it to myself. Okay? Give me space. But when you come, when I give you room to join me, please empathize with me. That's what I need. I need you to be here to try and understand my perspective. Okay? Right. Thank you to those who have shared. All right. You will still grieve when you're doing well, but it's much more bearable. Okay? And along the way, hope will prevail. You become more optimistic, but sometimes the grief will still be there. Yeah? Okay, please show me that you will still love me even when I'm sad. Right? I just want to be alone. I need time to be with my memories of this person. Okay. The hate is real. Okay? Yeah, your feelings are valid. There's so much anger and distrust there. Alright? It's so overwhelming. I don't know what to do with all the emotions that may be coming through right now. I feel lonely. Okay? I want to be able to talk about my grief. I want to be able to talk about the loss. Yes, don't give me a solution. Don't try to fix it. Just be here with me. I'm normal, alright, if I cry. I'm normal if I feel sad about the loss. I'm normal if I'm trying to deny and to bargain and I feel sad. Alright, that's normal. I have my weaknesses. I can't always be strong. This relationship, this thing was important to me. The people know my experiences affect and make me as I am now to realize my grief. I wish they knew I didn't ask for this to happen. Yeah, nobody asks for the loss, right? Nobody wants to feel pain and sadness. Don't judge me, okay, for whatever. You don't understand my situation completely. It's not your relationship. Maybe you were not in the relationship, you don't understand why I chose a divorce. You were not involved with this person, or you don't understand you've never had a miscarriage. Okay? You're not the one who has to have your grant delayed, okay? To have your experiments pushed back and all the other plans that I had. You don't get it. Yeah, all the experiences that we are going through change who we are as people. We need comfort in our grief, yeah, not judgment. Okay. Yeah, please listen. Don't be so quick to try and give an answer. It's okay if you don't have the answer. Would you stay with me and listen and be with me in my pain? Okay. Thank you all so much for sharing. Okay. It's not easy, and I want to appreciate, okay, how you have been vulnerable. How you have been vulnerable. Okay. Yeah, and I think there's a quote out there. Joy that is shared is double, and sorrow that is shared is half. Yeah. So one of the clear ways that we can come out of our grief is to share with one another. Share with those whom you can trust, okay, about your experience. Those who you think you will leave will be able to identify with your experience. Yeah. I'm sure those of you who are doing your PhD, you will find great support, okay, amongst your peers here, okay, because they are all going through the same journey, okay, a similar journey in doing your experiments, in doing your thesis, your research. Yeah. Okay, wonderful. Thank you all so much. Okay, I'm going to stop the poll right now. Okay. Okay. I'd like to do a breakout session right now. So if the organizers could help me to organize that. All right, moderators.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, we can have groups of 3 or 4, okay, or maybe even, yeah, 3 or 4 would be ideal, okay, so that the discussion won't go on too long, all right? And maybe you can share with each other, okay, I don't really care which of the formats you use, okay, you can use a PowerPoint, you can use a Google Doc, Jamboard, use old school pen and paper, that's all great. I would like you to talk to your group members about what was shared in the last poll. Okay, some of the responses that people had. What struck you in the results? Okay, and it does sound like you or someone you know, okay, would have experienced some kind of loss this year. It doesn't necessarily mean it's a death, okay, but there is some loss. So please share with one another, how has that impacted you? How has this loss impacted your life and your current reality? Okay. We'll take, so once everybody is in their rooms, just very quickly, because I realize that my time is running out. So, okay, so let's do that in 5, we have 5 minutes for the breakout room. Is that okay?
Okay, let me start the breakout session now.
Great, thank you.
All right.
Thanks, Hazika.
Okay. Okay, starting. So everyone should start joining the session.
Azika, would you like to give some instructions for some of the participants? They may not be familiar.
Oh yes, if you are not able to join the session, you can if you notice in the participant tab, right, there is breakout session, and you should be able to see the room that you have been assigned to. So you can directly join the session, but maybe some of you might be having problem to join if, let's say, you are joining from the phone or some outdated WebEx. So any of you who are able to join, then please go ahead and join the session. If you need any assistance, then do let us know. We will try to help you out.
Hasika, just
Yes.
want to check if a co-host can move participants in between room or not. Because some of the room have, many of the rooms have only one participants.
Oh,
Are you able to move that? I need to do. Let me check.
okay. Let me.
Hi, Hasika. Hasika. Hasika, can you hear me? Oh, maybe she's not here.
Okay, Hazika, is it? I think you all can click on join. For those
Yes,
of you who
for
are not,
community.
but can we also assign them randomly?
Yes, actually from the participant we can assign, but right now I cannot edit the breakout. I think Dr. Gan is editing something, so I
Okay.
cannot do any editing.
Hasika,
Yes.
are they quite sure of what they're doing? I get to that the second session, that's session 10 or so, and nobody seems to talk there. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know whether you understand what I mean.
Yes, I
Yeah,
understand.
yeah.
But it's okay. We don't control that. So actually the session is just for those who are able to proceed, and just proceed, and Miss Passion will conclude the session later.
Yeah, because they're supposed to talk to each other.
Yeah.
But I tried to initiate. Nobody was
Yes.
actually responding.
Yeah, it's
It's
normal
okay.
because they don't know each other also.
Yeah. Maybe it's not easy
Still
to
some
start.
here, right? Still here, is it? Didn't join?
Just checking on the participants. Can you all join any room?
Yeah.
Can
Yeah,
I
because-
just now, me and Azika, don't know, we joined room number 1.
Yeah, just click on
Oh.
join.
Yes, just
See.
click the join button and you can join the session.
Okay, because
now?
there are so many rooms with only one person.
Oh, pity them.
Yeah.
Why don't the committee let us join any of
Actually,
the room that only have
This
maybe
have,
one person?
actually should have like put more numbers, then you get many to join. Maybe because 3 or 4, right? You put.
Yes, 3 or 4.
Gan, again, chair here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm assigned to group number 14, but there's nobody there, so I'm back here
Yeah,
again.
that's why. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, doctor, because
I think
many
many
is
people are
not
not joining.
and because
Yeah.
the number also is like 3 to 4% to a group. So if you
Yeah,
make
because
it
I think
like
now the
that,
main group, the main room
then
is also still now 102 participants. That means the majority are actually still hanging around here.
Yes,
Still not
yes.
joining.
I think if not used to the breakout, it's not easy, right? To spontaneously
because
join in.
some are using handphone, so they find it quite hard to do.
Hmm.
Anyone want to say something? You are here, maybe you
Yeah.
can voice out something. Why you are here? You
Yes.
cannot join or what? What happened? I see 106 people. People are returning back, I think.
Seems the number is increasing, right?
Only one person, yeah. I think most of the room have only one person.
Hi, everybody.
Yes. Hi, Miss
Hi.
Passion.
Hello. I heard many of you were not able to go to the breakout sessions. So it's okay, all right. I think we have to move on, otherwise I will not have enough time. Okay, all right. But if anybody, you are willing to share, would you be willing to share in the chat or maybe even unmute yourself to tell us how has the loss that you or someone you know has experienced this year, how has it impacted you? If you don't mind to share. Okay, I will just give a minute or two, and if nobody, then I will have to move on. But I just want to encourage you that this is a safe space, okay, guys? Whatever we share here, no one simply share outside. And you don't have to share with us exactly about what the loss is, but we can talk about what is the impact that it has had on you. Is that okay? Anybody? You can raise your hand and unmute yourself if you like, okay, or type in the chat box so we can read it. Okay, people don't want to talk, huh? Okay, all right. Thanks, Asma, for letting me know, all right, that people here don't like to talk. Okay, so it's understandable. I think it's maybe it's a difficult topic as well, yeah? Okay, so it's all right. Okay, I just want to actually highlight that this is something that we can bring to our awareness, okay, that this is something that is important, it's normal, and it's okay, all right, to feel it, and it's also okay to talk about it, all right? But it's also okay if you don't feel ready, okay? Your privacy is important, and you need to feel safe, okay, to talk about something that is quite deep, okay, and painful for you. So that's understandable, okay? So no problem. Okay, we don't have time to do the next exercise, I think, but what I will do is, okay, let me share my screen again now. Okay, so what I will do is, wait, let me find, where are you guys now? Okay, sorry, you have come back to this side of the screen. Okay, put you over here. Okay, all right. So, what is a mindful body scan? Okay, it is to bring awareness to all the different parts of your body. Okay, without touching it. Okay, but are you even aware, okay, about this body part and the sensations that it holds? All right. So because we don't have the time to do the exercise, what I will do is I will send both a script and also maybe a video, okay, a link to a video for you to experience a body scan in your own time, at your own pace, okay? All right. So let me move on. Okay, so what are some physical things that you may notice, okay, about yourself or in your loved one, okay, as they are going through their grief? Okay, so physical changes can be in your sleep. You notice you're sleeping a lot more or maybe a lot less. Or your sleep is interrupted. Okay, you wake up in the middle of the night. All right. Could be a loss of appetite, a change in your immune system. Suddenly you are getting sick more often. All right. Maybe you have different bodily sensations. You're having tension in strange or unfamiliar places in your body, okay, that you never experienced before. Maybe you'll feel dehydrated, okay. You feel tired, okay, and a loss of energy. These are quite common, okay, responses to stress and to grief, okay. So what can we do? Okay, what are some of the things that we can do to help us to process our grief? What are some actions that we can take? Okay, understanding that ritual is actually a very crucial factor in helping us with major changes, milestones, transitions, and losses. Okay, so having a funeral or memorial of some sort is usually important. Okay, of course, with COVID, this has greatly changed, okay, how people are doing rituals, okay, and this is a painful situation for people to be in, all right, it's very difficult. I can't be with the people I love, all right, I can't be there to see their body, okay, because of COVID. So one of my friends, her father passed away, all right, and because her mother also contracted COVID, so they couldn't go and visit the mother. And because the father had died of COVID, so they couldn't even go to the parlor as well. So there was a sense of, is this even real? If I didn't see it with my own eyes, if I'm not there in person, is this death even a reality? So there is this strangeness, okay, with this lack of ritual. And so now we still need the ceremony. We still need, okay, we have this need for remembrance. We have this need to talk about how much this person mattered to us. And so we do it on Zoom. We do it on a social platform. We do it by sending emails, calling people, sending messages. All right. We have to do it differently than we did before, but we still need that ceremony somehow. Okay. Pre-COVID, all right, there were different ways that people could gather to share a remembrance, okay, to do a memorial, to reminisce, okay. Maybe it's by cooking the favorite meal of the person who passed away. Maybe if it's a loss of relationship, okay, you had traveled to some place with your spouse or with your boyfriend, your girlfriend. And so what I would often see is that, you know, with my friends, they will say, I want to go with my new partner and create new memories in this place. Okay, so that could be something as well, another ritual. Sometimes it is journaling, okay, having a grief journal, seeing the life of this individual, putting pictures, paintings, drawings. The art in itself has a therapeutic effect, but it is also to showcase, to identify this person mattered to me. And look at how wonderful his or her life has been. And I got to be a part of that, right? I want to recommend some other rituals, okay, that I think can be helpful, can be healing, okay? Call it a routine, call it a ritual, okay? Routines are things that we do and there may or may not be a sacredness tied to the event. You wake up, you brush your teeth, you make a coffee, you start your work, all right? This is a routine. A ritual is something that you give meaning to. You stop to savor, to embrace the moment, okay? Sometimes in our grief, we need to create a new ritual for our new life, okay? Helping ourselves, you know, to change certain things in our environment, such as making our bed every day. A routine can become a ritual, right? Changing the environment by taking care of your body, what you put into your body, okay? Intentionally feeding yourself with nutritious food, okay? you are sending a message to yourself, to your mind, and to your body that you are worthy of care. You are going through so much pain and loss right now. It's okay to take care of yourself. All right? So you can do different things with your senses, okay? Use scented candles, aromatherapy. Take care of your body, okay? The body actually holds so much wisdom, and it is also where our trauma is housed, okay? So take good care of your body. Exercise, nurture it, massage, wash yourself. These things can help, okay? I cannot overemphasize the importance of breathing. Okay? Your breath is the thing that you carry with you all the time, okay? So we can control so much of our emotional experience if we are mindful about our breathing. Did you know that? So let's say I want to increase the energy level in my body. What does a more high energy breathing pattern look like? Maybe it's faster. I breathe harder, okay? I'm intentional. But if I want to slow down, I want to calm down, I take a deep breath and a slow exhale. And I notice the changes that makes in my body. Prayer, and those of us who believe in God, believe that He is with us, always watching, always caring, okay? That He has a purpose for us and He cares for what happens in our life. Meditation, journaling, music, all right? Surround yourself with those who care about you, all right? So these are some things, okay, that we can notice and take care of. And I'm sure not just you, me, I'm guilty, all right, of not taking care of my routine and my self-care because I get caught up with work. I'm like, oh, I have to finish this report. I need to do this thing. I need to email that person. I need to follow up with my lecturer, my supervisor, okay? Or I need to, okay, I just need to get some food into my body, all right? And push myself harder, all right, to finish my thesis and so on, okay? So if you don't prioritize yourself, if you're not taking care of yourself, who will? Many times we're so busy taking care of other people, we neglect ourselves. So I just want to encourage you, please take care of yourself first. Yeah? All right. Okay, let me just have a look. What is my next slide? Oh, yeah? Okay. Okay, yes. Oh dear, we are already towards the end. Is it okay I take another 5 more minutes? Because I think the next part is going to be quite important. Is it all right with everybody? Can, yeah? Thank you so much. Okay, so
You still have up to like 10 minutes or so.
thank you so much. All right, I really appreciate that. Okay, so what are some questions that we can ask? Okay, useful questions. I'm sure all of us have been been on the receiving end of some insensitive, okay, questions or unhelpful questions along the way. So I think as a counselor, okay, in my experience, some of the things that some of the ways, okay, we can make space for people to grieve, okay, is number one, what's on your mind? Rather than me assuming that the person feels sad, how do you know? Maybe their parent has been struggling for a long time with Alzheimer's, for instance, and it's a relief that their parent passed away. You don't know. So ask them what's on your mind rather than assuming. Okay? How have things been with your family and friends? Okay, because we want to identify whether the individual has support. Okay, oftentimes when we are grieving, we push other people away. Don't see me in my sadness, in my anger, in my grief. Okay, but we need that person to feel that they are supported. Okay, because if not, they will go into depression and then other issues may arise. We want to avoid that as much as possible. Okay. ask them, how are you feeling about the loss, the change? Maybe it's exciting to go through something that pushes you, forces you to change, okay? Or maybe they are really feeling sad and angry even. Give them the space to feel those things. Maybe you didn't know the person's loved one very well. Would you share a story with me? A memory that you have of the person? Give them the space to talk about it. Very often, especially physically, I think when we were still meeting up, it's like, oh, I don't want to talk about it because I don't want to bring to mind the loss. I don't want to bring a bad memory or make them feel sad. But actually, so often they are like, please give me permission to talk about the loss of my child. Please let me talk about this miscarriage. Please give me the space that I need. Give me permission to be weak in this moment. Yeah. And try to find out, are they going through anything else? Maybe it's not just the loss of a loved one, but there may be other challenges that they are facing, financial difficulties. Is there any other way that I can support you right now? Do you need me to help you to run an errand? Is there a document I can proofread for you? Okay, this is the kind of support that I can provide in this moment. And just be frank and ask them, what do you need? Okay, I don't want to assume what you need. You tell me. Okay, are you able to identify what it is you need? And I'll be here for you. Okay, so pro tip, be quick to listen, okay, and slow to speak. We don't have, like I said, we don't need to always have an answer. Oh, he was in a better place. Or, I can't imagine what you must be feeling. Just listen first, okay? So remember, it's not about you, okay? Some people feel very uncomfortable showing up at funerals. But please remember, the funeral is for the living, okay? For those that are left behind. Their sadness needs to be expressed and they need a witness for that sadness. Yeah. Don't try and in their moment of grief, okay, don't try at that moment to try and find a silver lining. It's a terrible situation for the person and they need you to acknowledge that this really sucks. This is really hard. Okay, I'm here for you. Be mindful of spirituality. Even if the person was spiritual, they may not be ready to hear that at this moment. Okay, because that would mean that God allowed this to happen. He is the one who is causing this pain to me. So maybe the person is ready to talk about spiritual things, but maybe not. Okay, so just be mindful about that. Ask them where they are in their journey with God. And give them permission. Okay, this person was important to them. Maybe they've already lost a parent. Now they only have one parent left. Okay, and they lost that one too. It's understandable that they can't feel strong in the moment. Okay, all right. Okay, let me see. What is this question? I think. Okay, never mind. I think we have to skip it. I would just want to end with this story before we open up, if possible, for any question. Okay. This is a story, okay, the parable of the long spoons. All right. So this man says, I would like to understand what heaven and hell is like. And so God brings the man into this room, okay, in a dream. And the first thing he notices is there is a delicious smell of a vegetable stew in a huge pot in the middle of the room. But all the individuals who are in the room are skinny, skin and bones. They look like they're starving. And they have these spoons with long handles. And so they are unable to put it into their mouth to feed themselves after they have scooped out some of the stew. And so he says, oh, this must be what hell is like. And then God brings the man to the next room. And he notices, oh, the same smell, delicious vegetable stew right in the middle of the room. But the individuals here are well fed and they are happy. And he asks God, how is this possible? He says, because We feed one another. We are taking care of each other. But right now, with the pandemic, there is so much grief around us, Pre-COVID, maybe you will have a friend or two here, who might have a loss that they are going through. But now everybody is going through one loss or another. And the only way we're going to get out of this is if we do it together. So reach out and talk to somebody. Yeah. Share with them, a trusted individual. If you don't have any friends, please try to find a counselor, okay, a therapist, a support network, okay, that help you in your time of grief. Yeah. I just want to end with this last thing, okay, this quote by Queen Elizabeth. It says, grief is the price we pay for love. We only care, we feel sad because that person or that thing was important to us. They mattered. Yeah. Okay. I have come to the end of my keynote, and I'd like to open the floor to any questions, or if there's no time and no questions, that's okay as well. Yeah. Not an issue. I just want to thank you again so much for inviting me. It's been an honor and a pleasure to be here with you all today.
Thank you very much, Ms. Patience, for that wonderful and enriching presentation. Before we do further things we have ahead, let us give time to Dr. Shah for maybe a word or two. Dr. Shah, over to you.
Hi. But before that, do we have any questions? Can we take one or two questions, Mula?
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, we have one question just now, Doctor.
Yes, we have a few questions actually, but we are not, able to bring up all the questions now because we do not have that much time. So one of the questions that we have that I find interesting is that how do we actually be there for people who are going through grief? It's a very general question, but at the same time, it's also very tricky to answer it. I think, Patient, maybe you can help us out.
Sure. I think the first thing is to ask the person what they need. Okay, to reassure them that you are there. Okay, I'm here for you. That's number one. What do you need? And if the person is unable to answer because maybe they are in a crisis mode now, so they are shutting down as well, just put yourself in there. Okay, if it's safe, okay, can I bring you some food? If you have children, do you need me to take them out? Okay, now we are starting to dine out already. Do you need some space? Or maybe they need some help clearing the rooms, okay, of the loved one's belongings. Do you need help, somebody to come and do that for you or with you together? Okay, so there are different things. I cannot say there's a one size fits all. There isn't. Okay, I would probably need somebody to be with me, but I saw many of you say, I need you to give me space. Don't crowd me. Okay, so different people. Yeah, if they are, I see this question here. How do you help someone who is not willing to receive help? I think it is important to respect the need for privacy. Okay, so sometimes we need to just continue to reassure the person regularly. I'm here for you whenever you are ready to talk. Okay, maybe you want to share an article with them, to say, hey, I read this and I thought about you. Okay, give them the resources from a distance. Okay, so again, depends what their need is, and reassure them that feeling sad is okay. It's all right to feel weak in this moment. It's understandable. This person was important for you. Nobody can replace this relationship. Yeah.
And Patient, I think
Yes.
related to this question, there's one more question that comes to me personally. So sometimes it's about the person that is going through grief, and sometimes it's about us that is trying to help this person that is going through grief or depression or for whatever reason, mental health issues. And what about the person who is trying to help the person? What is the boundary? Do we babysit them? Do we go after them? I mean, because sometimes we feel guilty that we are not doing enough. Okay, I give you one example. Maybe when this person asked me the question, I actually relate to this person because as an academic, I do have many students nowadays in this pandemic time that is going through serious depression, clinical depression, anxiety and whatnot. And sometimes I do not know whether I'm doing enough for them. So where do we put that boundary? Because I get upset that maybe I'm not doing enough.
That's a really great question. I do think that it's important for the caregivers to have self-care. You will not be of use or of great help to somebody else if you are malnourished. If you are undergoing great suffering and loss yourself, you will not be of great help to another person. Yeah, to use the airplane technology, you need to put on your own oxygen mask first before you're able to help somebody else. Okay, so I would say that that's number one. How do you know the limit? Again, different people will have different needs and different levels of capacity. So I'll give you an example. If I am well rested, okay, and I'm somebody that I'm able to have sufficient healthy emotional boundaries that when I talk to this person, I'm not taking their issue and saying that I need to solve their issue for them. No, I'm just here to listen and to support you. I can't fix anything for you. I can support you and help you with, maybe you need an errand, maybe you need a listening ear, maybe you need, okay, a small loan, okay, of money at this point in time. You can decide what the boundaries are, okay. For instance, let's say with money, okay, money is a tricky one, but let's say they need a loan. What is the repayment going to be like? Okay, or I will do it this many times, but beyond that, I can't help you. And then maybe I need to connect you with a financial planner, okay, or other resources. If you are unable to, refer the person to a professional. So like for instance, doctor, you were saying that there's somebody who has clinical depression, okay, and that is definitely maybe a bit too much for a lay person, okay, inexperienced or not professional, okay, to try and shoulder all that, to try and pull this person through. So you need professional help. You need to ask the individual, are they doing everything within their capacity, okay, to take care of themselves medically first. Yeah. I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, that actually does. I mean, you put a boundary and you don't, I wouldn't say boundary, but there's only certain limit that you're not able to help. And then you did try. That the most important thing is the effort and, you know. Well,
Yeah.
okay, we also have one more question, maybe just one more question before we end the session. This is a great session, by the way.
Thank you.
What if people say, you know, things will be fine, it's okay, they're in denial?
As in the person who is grieving, or
the person who is grieving or going through some kind of tragic, the person who is grieving, he says or she says that, you know, it's fine, it will be fine, and I will be, and we know that the person has the risk to go into a downward spiral and is not willing for us to step up to that person more than certain distance, you know.
Yeah.
So
I think there are a few. Yes, thank you so much for that question. I hear you. What I'm hearing is the individual keeps saying they are going to be okay, meaning they are minimizing the impact or the grief. But because of your relationship with the person, you understand their pattern in a way. Yeah, you are able to identify, okay, based on what I know of this person, generally this is how they're going to respond and how they're going to react. Okay. So in the moment of grief, you have to do it very carefully. So I would say that number one is you need to establish how much do I care about this person. Okay, so there's two axes. The first axis is how much do I care about this person? Do I have a relationship with this person? And the other axis, how willing am I to challenge them directly? the more I care and the more willing I am to challenge them directly, then this person will know that whatever I say, okay, comes with care. It is said with love. It is said without judgment. It is said with concern. Now, you may care very much about the person, but they may not feel that you care about them. So that's also kind of an important factor. Okay. So in my situation, in my case, what I would do, okay, is actually rather than telling the person, look, you did this, you did that, okay, I know your history, I wouldn't say that. I would ask more questions. When similar situations have happened before, you know, what do you tend to do? What's your default? You know, if somebody else were going through the same thing as you, how do you think you would respond? Okay, and you try these methods to try and facilitate self-awareness for the individual. Now, having said that, if you've done all the above, there are some people who still may refuse your help. Yeah, and that is their choice. It's not your fault, it's their choice. Yeah. Okay, I answered that as best I can. It's a tricky one.
Yeah, it's a good one anyway, because yeah, it's a good one. Anyway, thank you very much, Patience, on behalf of the committee members and all postgraduates from computer sciences, and also maybe from outside of computer sciences. Also, I see some of them joined us today. Also, our alumni, okay, our undergraduate alumni, some of them are here. I would like to thank you very much. We feel very honored that you're here. I know that you have a very, very busy routine, very busy packed time.
It's a real pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Yes, and it's a real pleasure to have you here, and we are very honored. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I'm not a doctor, by the way, not yet.
Not yet, but you already have.
Not yet, maybe, yeah, maybe someday. Let's see. Thank you so much, everybody. I hope this was useful. God bless you, okay, in your journey of recovery. Thank you all.
It's all right. Thank you. So before we go for a short break, can we on our
we are going to have the camera.
So that we have a snapshot with our great presenter, please. Can we all on our cameras for a snapshot? So Hazika, our photographer.
Yeah, photographer.
Sorry,
Screen capture.
Organizing chairperson. Sorry about that. Calling
No
photographer.
It's the screen capture person. All right, so get ready. 1, 2, 3. Okay, please continue smiling. All right, give me a moment. Okay, we are good now. All right, just a moment. Okay, once again, 1, 2, 3.